What is going on, guys? Tempo Trades. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made $11,000 with my prop firm accounts just by simply taking base hits. I don't need a huge setup of 100 points or anything. I'm going to show you how to make the most out of these moves. And if you like anything in this video and you want to learn more about my strategy, I have a completely free guide below. 12 videos, teaches you my strategy in depth. So let's get right into it. All right, guys, so here was the trade. Now, you could see this was taken during pre-market, and we had non-farm employment change at 8:15 a.m., okay? So I am looking for this data wick play, right? Here is the data candle right here where my arrow is. We created the high, and we created the low. So once the low sweeps, I would now use this as liquidity, right? This is now the data high. And I would expect price to eventually come back for this high to sweep it out. So I want to look for longs. Okay, now in addition to that, we have the London and Asia sweep right here. These are major areas of liquidity. I look for reversals off of them almost every single day. And once these areas sweep, I would want to go look for a reversal back up to that area like I mentioned, okay? So you can see on the first call out for my Discord, this is my private community. That's exactly what I say. I say lows were swept. We would now look for longs to the top, London lows right below us in case we keep going down. And then I say I may look for longs soon, right? So here it is. Here are the candles. Boom. There's the sweep. So you can see on the right, we have ES. On the left is NQ. We sweep these overnight lows on both NQ and ES. Longs are super valid now. If we go to our checklist, this is my A+ IFEG checklist. If I have, you know, most of these confluences, it's a super high probability trade. It's going to have a 70 to 80% win rate. So yeah, we don't have number one because we're not inside the kill zone. We're actually taking this pre-market, but we have number two. We're in discount, so we should be longing. We have number three. We have the major liquidity sweep, which is the London and Asia low. Number four, the instant reaction. I don't know if I would call it instant, but it is still a good reaction. Price doesn't move past our level much or kind of disrespect it. So I think it's a decent reaction. And then, you know, we do have clear areas to target. Like I said, the data high up here. So very clear areas. And then momentum is debatable, right? So at the worst, I would say this trade has 4 out of the 6 confluences. So I am willing to risk it, even though it is pre-market, right? So if we draw the IFEG here, this is the inverted fair value gap. We would wait for price to inverse over and then go long, okay? So you could see I alerted that as well in the private group. I said, gonna try this 30-second long. And I called it out before it even happened, right? So what happened next? I waited for, we got a little manipulation lag. You can see price came down one more time, swept out that liquidity, and boom. Price closed over the gap with a good momentum, honestly. So for me, I got a 678 fill, I believe. You could do two things here. You could put your stop underneath the gap we entered on, which is this bearish one. Or you can actually have more cushion and more support and put your stop loss under both gaps, right? Because there's a bearish gap here and then there's a bullish gap here. So whatever you prefer, how you're feeling about the trade, there's no wrong answer. For me, I just put it under this initial gap. And again, I'm targeting the data high. So, and here's kind of how the trade played out. So basically, I took my first trim at 20 points. Which is right there. So there is 20 more. You'll see it, but there's 20 points in profit. I decided to take my first TP, which you can see right here. So I say plus 20 points, moving my stops to break even and taking partials. And then right after that, I actually trimmed on the very next candle as well. And I said plus 30 points. So at this point, I'm out a good chunk of my position. I believe I had 13 micros on this trade. I trimmed 12, leaving myself with 1 runner. Why did I leave myself with 1 runner and why did I trim so aggressively? A couple of reasons. Number one, we're in pre-market. I don't expect pre-market to move as fluidly as the New York kill zone, so I'm not going to hold as many runners in that situation. The second reason is price is about to hit this yellow line, which is 50% of the daily range. This is a support and resistance level that I use with ICT concepts. And a lot of the time what you're going to see is price is going to come up, tap the yellow line, and bounce off of that. So I want to take most of my profits and be trimmed before that level hits, right? So at this point, again, I've secured, if you trim 12 micros around where I trimmed, it was like $500 and something. And again, I tell my chat here, I said, look, if I don't see you guys green today, I'm going to be disappointed. Don't be greedy. Take profits. If you want to hold runners, you can, but you should be green off this. And then the very next trade, or the very next movement, you could see here, this down leg is actually going to take me out break even. Let me see where it was. Right there. So unfortunately, this wicked me out by 1 point with my remaining micro. And it is what it is. I still took most of my profit, so I'm still very, very happy about the trade. But if I just fast forward a ton, you will see that price actually goes to my final target. I'm going to have to fast forward a lot here. Give me 1 second. There was a lot of consolidation pre-market. You could see it does not move very well. But yeah, once the market was close to opening, right there, it went right for my TP. So if I didn't get wicked out by 1 point right here, my last remaining micro would have hit the final TP, which was 80 points in profit. But still, because I trimmed aggressively and I knew where I was at in terms of structure and stuff like that, I still, like I said on screen, I still managed to make $11,000. I made $500 and something per 50K account, and I have over 20 50K accounts with all my prop firms. So, you know, the point of the video is you don't need to make a home run every single trade. You're not going to have an 80-point trade, 100-point trade every single day. Some days you're going to wake up into the market and the conditions are not expanding. It's a scalper's market. So you need to be able to learn how to take profits and play defensive when it's a scalping market. And, you know, you need to learn when it's worth holding runners when price is expanding rapidly, right? So there was everything. You know, I said trim 12 out of 13 cons, 550 per account. You do not need a 100-point move to make money. So that was pretty much it. That was my whole day today. Very, very nice day. And then I guess the last thing I would show you is, you know, all the people who took this with me in the private group. So all of these people in my Discord took this same trade with me, made money with me, and we were green before the market opened. So you can't ask for anything better than that. But that is the video. Again, if you have any questions about the strategy, free guide in the description below, 12 videos. You can learn all about it. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.